The CEO fired me out of ego. Then I withdrew $20 million. This is how humiliation turned into control, and how one decision changed everything. The CEO calls me into his office. He's angry. I just closed a major client deal that exceeds expectations. Instead of praise, he fires me. "You're out," he says. "You've outshined me, and that cannot happen." I freeze. Years of hard work dismissed because of his ego. Why? I ask calmly. "Don't question me," he snaps. "You're done here." Humiliation hits. Colleagues stare as I leave. I was fired not for failure, but because my competence threatened him. Shock hits first, then anger. I realize I'm not powerless. I could leave quietly, but I know I have leverage he doesn't. I refuse to let arrogance decide my fate. Weeks earlier, I discovered a clause in the company's contracts and accounts. It allows access to a high-value account under specific conditions. Most would overlook it. I didn't. Now, after the firing, it's my key. I review every detail. Every step must be precise. This isn't about anger, it's about strategy. Timing is critical. I verify every number. I calculate every step. The CEO acts out of ego. He has no idea of the power I hold. I start recalling every interaction, every oversight he made in client deals, every decision where he overruled me out of pride. He has been arrogant, sloppy, and unaware that I hold the leverage to reverse everything. The next day, I act. I withdraw $20 million, legally and cleanly. Every figure accounted for. Every trigger satisfied. Within hours, the CEO panics. Calls come. Meetings are demanded. Emails pour in, urgent and insistent. He realizes too late that his ego-driven decision triggered this. I do not respond immediately. I let him scramble. Every move he makes is frantic, desperate, a reflection of his own mistake. I hear from colleagues that the board is concerned. Deals he thought were secure are now stalled. Negotiations that were supposed to progress are being questioned. I remain calm. I do not gloat. My patience is my advantage. I know the chaos I've triggered is temporary, and every misstep he makes strengthens my position. He calls me directly, voice tense. "Explain this," he demands. I respond evenly, I acted within the terms of the account. Everything is legal. You should have considered the implications before firing me. The silence on the other end is telling. His ego cannot accept being outmaneuvered, yet he knows he has no argument. Over the next hours, he tries everything. He contacts clients, renegotiates terms, pushes teams for urgent reports. Nothing works. The leverage is mine, and the CEO who humiliated me realizes it. I reflect on the months leading up to this moment. Every late night, every client presentation, every financial calculation, all of it now empowers me. Years of dedication cannot be dismissed. I watch as panic spreads internally. Teams whisper about the sudden upheaval. Colleagues speculate about the CEO's unusual behavior. Deals once considered secure are now in jeopardy. He escalates further. Board members are involved. Urgent meetings called. Emails flood inboxes. He is desperate, but I am composed. I respond selectively, strategically. I do not reveal my full position. I allow him to overreach, make miscalculations, and expose his own incompetence. Hours turn into a day. The CEO is frantic. Every call is rushed, every instruction urgent. Yet nothing stabilizes. The account I accessed is now untouchable to him, and he cannot reverse the action. I maintain professionalism. I do not celebrate. My satisfaction is in the knowledge that I anticipated every move and acted precisely. By the second day, it is clear, the CEO underestimated me. His arrogance blinded him to the one person who had knowledge, patience, and strategy to turn his decision into a complete reversal of power. I continue to monitor responses quietly. Every frantic email, every rushed phone call is confirmation. The board, the clients, even internal teams, all realize the seriousness of the situation. The CEO, once confident, is now scrambling. I remember every word he said when he fired me. "You've outshined me, and that cannot happen." It echoes in my mind, a reminder that ego often blinds leaders to the consequences of their actions. I make a few calculated responses. Professional, precise, leaving no room for error. The CEO reacts to each carefully, unknowingly strengthening my position with every action. By the third day, negotiations start to shift. Clients inquire about timelines and delays. The CEO is forced to admit errors. Teams look to me for clarity, though I remain silent publicly, letting the situation unfold. The satisfaction is quiet, deliberate. Not arrogance, but the knowledge that planning, intelligence, and calm execution can overcome humiliation and unfair treatment. By the end of the week, the CEO's desperation is undeniable. He is calling, emailing, negotiating, trying to salvage deals he thought were secure. The very person he dismissed is now controlling the flow of outcomes. I sit back, composed. Every move is calculated. The next steps will determine not only how he recovers but also how I secure my position and leverage fully. The first week ends with a clear message: underestimating me was his greatest mistake. His ego cost him stability, credibility, and control. I do not celebrate aloud. My focus is precision, strategy, and timing. The leverage is mine, and the CEO now understands that his dismissal of me has consequences he cannot contain. I know this is only the beginning. Every move he makes from here will be anticipated. Every desperate attempt will play into the advantage I've secured. I prepare for the next phase. Every document reviewed, every account monitored, every response calculated. This is not about revenge and anger, it's about control, leverage, and precision. The CEO calls again. His voice sharp, urgent. I respond with measured calm. I expect all interactions to follow protocol. Everything is legal. Your previous actions triggered this situation. He cannot argue. He cannot reverse it. The panic is evident. The control he once wielded is slipping from his hands. I remain composed. My strategy is working. Every day confirms the power of preparation, knowledge, and calm execution. By the end of this week, one fact is undeniable: the CEO who fired me out of ego is now desperate. The person he dismissed is the one dictating the terms. Calls flood in from clients. Meetings are scheduled at a frantic pace. Every email he sends is sharp, urgent, pleading for updates, for confirmations, for control. He does not realize that his desperation is visible to everyone he contacts. I remain calm. Every move I make is calculated. I respond only when necessary, and each response reinforces my position. Every request he sends is answered precisely, legally, and with restraint. I never reveal the full extent of my leverage. He begins to overstep, micromanaging teams, demanding changes mid-negotiation, trying to force results that are already out of his control. I watch and note every misstep. Each error strengthens my position and weakens his credibility with both clients and board members. I call one client personally, not to gloat, but to reassure them professionally. Everything is proceeding according to plan, I say. There will be no delays, and all commitments will be met. The client responds with relief. Their trust is intact, and unknowingly, I have drawn a line between my competence and his chaos. Back at headquarters, the CEO paces. He calls his assistants repeatedly, demanding updates. Where is the progress report? Are the deals secure? How is this happening? His frustration is palpable. I do not respond directly. I wait. I let him push further, make mistakes, and reveal his desperation publicly. By midweek, the board notices irregularities. They question the sudden changes, the delays, the urgent calls from clients, and the CEO's inability to stabilize the situation. His credibility falters. I prepare for the next strategic move. I know the CEO will attempt to regain control by pressuring the finance team, by trying to reverse the withdrawals, by threatening clients. Each action will be anticipated. Each attempt will fail because I have planned every contingency. He sends an email, copied to the board, immediate explanation required. Account activity must be reviewed. Resolve this situation at once. I reply calmly, all actions are within the legal framework of the account terms. Every withdrawal and transaction is accounted for. Any discrepancies are the result of prior decisions. The silence on the other end is telling. He realizes he cannot dispute my actions, cannot reverse the leverage I hold. Desperation escalates. He calls a meeting with senior executives. Everyone senses tension. His inability to explain the situation fully undermines his authority. Each word he utters reveals panic rather than control. I observe quietly. My focus is on timing, precision, and professionalism. I let him flounder. Each overreaction reinforces the reality that I am in control. By the end of the week, the CEO attempts to negotiate personally with one of the largest clients, offering concessions he never planned to make. I intercept with careful communication, ensuring the client remains confident in my management and execution. He realizes too late that every attempt to manipulate outcomes works against him. His arrogance and ego blinded him to the consequences of firing the one person who understood the critical levers of the business. I continue to respond strategically, maintaining calm, professionalism, and control. Every client interaction reinforces my authority. Every internal discussion highlights the CEO's failings. By now, whispers circulate among executives. The board members begin questioning his judgment. His desperate attempts to regain control only serve to illustrate his poor decision-making. I anticipate his next move. I know he will attempt a high-stakes intervention, trying to leverage board pressure, threaten teams, and push clients toward decisions favorable only to him. I prepare carefully. Every document, every communication, every account detail is ready. I ensure that the CEO's next move will only strengthen my position further. Finally, he contacts me directly. This cannot continue. You must reverse this, he demands. I respond firmly, measured, I have acted entirely within the account terms. Reversals are not possible without violating protocol and law. All actions are accounted for, and I recommend proceeding within the framework established. The panic in his voice is unmistakable. He knows he cannot argue, cannot compel, and cannot regain control. By the weekend, the full impact is visible. Deals once considered secure are intact only because of my direct management. The CEO's frantic interventions have failed. My leverage is undeniable, and his desperation has become apparent to all. I sit back, calm and calculated. Every move has been anticipated. Every response controlled. The CEO's ego-driven firing has become the catalyst for his complete loss of authority. He calls another meeting with the senior team, this time to demand answers about delayed contracts. I do not attend. I allow him to flounder while his own actions expose his incompetence. He raises his voice. Why are deals stalling? Why are clients questioning timelines? Fix this immediately. Executives exchange uneasy glances. They know the situation is beyond his control. His authority is slipping, and they feel the tension. I review every email, every transaction, every account movement from the past week. Each detail confirms my advantage. Each mistake he makes strengthens my position. He reaches out to clients personally, offering concessions, promising faster results, and trying to assert dominance. I intercept carefully, correcting misinformation, reinforcing confidence in my management, and maintaining total control. His frustration grows. He calls his assistants repeatedly, demanding reports I've already reviewed, trying to manipulate information. Every attempt fails. I respond selectively, calmly, never revealing the full extent of my leverage. Each communication I send reinforces the fact that I am in control. By midweek, board members start noticing the CEO's frantic attempts to salvage deals. Questions arise about his judgment and leadership. His credibility erodes with every call, every email, every rushed decision. I anticipate his next move, a last-ditch attempt to regain control through aggressive negotiation tactics with a key client. The client reaches out to me first, seeking confirmation. I provide precise, professional updates, ensuring confidence remains in my hands. The CEO's efforts backfire, he overpromises, and I silently ensure every commitment is met within protocol. He begins to panic further, realizing that the very systems he thought he controlled are now functioning under my direction. Every miscalculation becomes visible to the board, and the weight of his own errors crushes his credibility. I maintain composure. I do not celebrate. My satisfaction comes from seeing strategy, patience, and professionalism triumph over arrogance and impulsive decisions. By the end of the week, his desperation is undeniable. Every executive knows that the person he dismissed controls the outcomes. Every client is confident in my management, not his. I begin planning the next phase, consolidating leverage. I prepare detailed reports, aligning every account and transaction to ensure no reversal is possible. Every future decision he makes will play into my advantage. He sends an urgent email, copied to the board, immediate reversal required. This situation cannot continue. I reply with precise calm, all actions were within account terms. Reversal is impossible without violating legal protocol. All steps have been documented and accounted for. I recommend following the procedures established to ensure compliance and accuracy. The silence is deafening. He realizes that he has no authority left in this situation. His arrogance has handed me complete control. I continue to monitor every movement. Each attempt by him to assert power only reinforces my position. Every action he takes is anticipated, every strategy countered. By the weekend, the consequences of his firing decision are clear, deals are secure, clients are confident, executives understand who holds true control, and the CEO is left scrambling for authority that no longer exists. I prepare for the final moves. Every negotiation, every transaction, every communication will cement my dominance and force him to acknowledge that underestimating me was his greatest mistake. The CEO is frantic. Every call he makes, every email he sends, reeks of desperation. He tries a final intervention, summoning the board and demanding that I reverse every action. I prepare for him. I know his ego will force him to overreach. I do not panic. I do not respond hastily. I anticipate every word he will say, every demand he will make. He enters the boardroom, voice sharp, trying to assert authority. This situation must be resolved immediately. I demand all funds returned and all deals renegotiated. I respond calmly, professionally. All actions were executed within the account terms. Reversals would violate protocol and law. Everything is accounted for, documented, and compliant. The room falls silent. The board members exchange looks. They know the facts. They see the CEO's frustration. His authority is crumbling. He attempts to pressure the executives. You must enforce this. I am the CEO. One by one, they shake their heads. They cannot act outside the legal framework. They have already witnessed the consequences of his ego-driven decisions. I sit back, composed, every movement deliberate. I have anticipated this confrontation. Every desperate maneuver he makes is predicted and countered. He raises his voice further, trying to intimidate. You will undo this immediately, or there will be consequences. I meet his gaze steadily. There are no consequences for following the rules. Your actions created this situation. The leverage was always yours to respect, but it was ignored. I executed within the legal and procedural framework. The board speaks quietly among themselves. Questions are directed at him. Why was this risk ignored? Why was the account accessed without oversight? Why did you dismiss the person managing it? Every question reinforces the truth. His decision to fire me out of ego caused this chaos. He sputters, unable to provide a coherent answer. His panic is now visible to everyone. The CEO who once controlled the room has no authority left here. I rise, assertive, but calm. The situation is resolved. Deals are secure. Clients are confident. All transactions are legal and properly documented. The remaining steps follow the framework already established. He realizes he cannot win. Every desperate tactic he employed has failed. Every attempt to regain control has only strengthened my position. By the end of the meeting, the board formally recognizes my role in stabilizing the company. The CEO is left isolated, his arrogance exposed, his credibility shattered. I exit the boardroom, composed. Every step, every calculation, every strategy has paid off. The humiliation he inflicted has transformed into undeniable power. Clients reach out directly to me now, seeking guidance and confirmation. I handle every request with precision. Every interaction reinforces trust in my management and undermines the CEO's reputation further. Internally, executives begin to follow my direction quietly. They respect competence over ego. They understand that the person he dismissed holds the keys to the company's stability and success. By the week's end, the CEO is forced into a corner. Every negotiation he attempts, every intervention he tries, is countered effortlessly. The leverage I hold is absolute. I watch quietly as he realizes that his firing decision, driven by pride and ego, has handed me full control over outcomes. Every desperate move he makes is predictable, every attempt to reclaim authority futile. The week closes with one undeniable fact: the CEO's ego-driven dismissal created the situation, and my strategy, patience, and precision transformed it into my total advantage. By the start of the week, the CEO is broken. Every deal he tries to push fails under my oversight. Every client he approaches first calls me instead. The authority he once wielded is gone. He schedules another meeting, a final attempt at regaining control. He enters the room with forced confidence, but the tension is palpable. His ego demands he appear dominant, yet every step reveals desperation. I expect immediate compliance, he begins, voice tight. The account must be reversed. Every deal must follow my directive. I remain calm, measured, unshaken. All actions are within legal and procedural frameworks. Everything is documented and accounted for. No reversal is possible without violating compliance. He sputters, searching for leverage. Board members exchange glances, quietly signaling they side with accuracy and responsibility, not ego. He tries intimidation. You will do this or face consequences. I stand, firm, and articulate every point precisely. The consequences of ignoring proper procedure fall on the individual who disregarded it. That decision was made when I was fired. I acted entirely within authority and law. The results confirm my actions preserved stability. The board speaks directly to him. We see the pattern. Your ego caused the disruption. Her management corrected it. Authority rests with the person competent to execute. He glares at me, realizing that every desperate maneuver he attempted failed. Every intervention strengthened my position. His credibility, once untouchable, is now shattered. I continue methodically. Every email, every client confirmation, every transaction aligns perfectly. Every step he attempts to disrupt is anticipated, neutralized, and converted into advantage. Clients call. They confirm deals, express confidence, and thank me directly. They bypass the CEO entirely. Each interaction underscores my control and exposes his helplessness. Executives begin following my lead. Every project, every negotiation, every account moves through me. The CEO cannot override, cannot influence, cannot recover authority. He sends a flurry of messages, demanding compliance. I respond professionally, calmly, documenting everything. Every attempt to regain control only exposes his panic and incompetence further. By midweek, the CEO faces the unavoidable truth: the person he fired out of ego now controls the company's key operations. Every move he makes is anticipated. Every decision he attempts to enforce is countered or rendered irrelevant. I finalize every deal, secure every client, and confirm every transaction. The company operates seamlessly under my management. Every department, every team, every account recognizes the authority I command. He attempts one last negotiation, a personal intervention with a major client, hoping to regain leverage. I intervene calmly, redirect the conversation, and secure the client's trust fully in my hands. His effort fails entirely. Board members confront him privately. Your decisions caused the disruption. Control has passed to the person capable of ensuring stability. Recognize it. He has no words. His ego falters completely. The humiliation he once inflicted on me has now reversed, fully, without emotion, without gloating, purely through skill, patience, and strategy. I consolidate power. Every system, every deal, every account aligns perfectly under my management. Every intervention he attempts is met with precise, calculated resistance. Every misstep he made is now evidence of his misjudgment. By the end of the week, the CEO reaches out quietly, privately. His voice is low, restrained. I understand. You are in control. I misjudged everything. I respond with calm authority. Control comes from competence and foresight. Ego alone cannot dictate outcomes. The company is stabilized. Clients are secure. Executives aligned. That is the result of proper management. He cannot argue. He cannot recover. He has been bested not by confrontation, but by strategy, foresight, and patience. Clients, executives, and board members now recognize my authority fully. Every action I take is respected. Every negotiation confirms my dominance. The CEO's attempts to regain power are irrelevant. I sit back, composed, reflecting on the path from humiliation to absolute control. Every step of the journey demonstrates that intelligence, patience, and calm precision surpass arrogance and impulsive ego. The week closes with complete resolution, the CEO humbled, clients secured, the board confident, and my authority undisputed. Every miscalculation, every desperate attempt by him has reinforced my position. I have turned humiliation into power. Arrogance into leverage. Disrespect into recognition. Subscribe to Revenge State for corporate stories, like, and comment to share your thoughts.